I'm fine.
Yeah, so can you tell us your name?
My name is James Mulamba.
James?
Mulamba.
James Mulamba. James Mulamba, first of all, yeah? Did you participate in the ongoing protest by the Gen Z?
I've been part of the protest from the first day to yesterday.
To yesterday, so back to back.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling it's important for you to come out for this particular protest every now and then?
Well, I started this a long time ago, close to 10 years ago. I remember warning folks about Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto in 2013, same as in 2017, in 2022, and I felt like my voice was not being heard. And I understand there are thousands of Kenyans who have been pushing against bad governance for years, because a revolution is a sum total of work, and work has to be done over a long period of time. It isn't a one event, and it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So I felt like my voice was not being heard, and I felt like I needed to amplify my voice. I needed to speak against bad governance on a nationwide scale, so that the message gets out there that we are uncomfortable with how we are being governed, and we are not okay with the status quo.
Yeah. So you came out for all these particular protests back to back, yeah? Did you find it, or did you feel like your voice was heard after you have come out for this particular protest?
My voice, I would say, has not been heard, as of thousands other protesters who are young. The media call them Gen Z, but we have millennials too, who are trying to voice against bad governance and who agitate for better governance. And our voice has not been heard because we still have the bad leaders in office. Our voice will be heard the day we'll have systems working in this country, the day we'll have better leaders in this country, more virtuous leaders. Because people confuse some superficial qualities for good leadership. For example, you could be learned, you could be an A student, but still make a bad leader. You could be a Christian or truly religious, truly pious, to use that word, but you still make a bad leader. It's not about academic qualifications. It's not about your religious background. It is not about your financial background. By financial background, I mean how your family is financially. For example, the current president comes from a humble background, and he made it his duty to remind us that as from 2018 to 2022, so that those that come from a humble background would vote for him, associating him with themselves, that thinking that because he's from a humble background, he's going to sort out their issues. We voted in leaders on the qualities of, the superficial qualities of academics. And do not misunderstand me. I think academics is quite important and is quite a good factor to be factored in when you're looking for a good leader. But academics is not the only thing. We have leaders who've not scored exemplary in this country, but then still serve well, still have the good qualities of good governance. So if you would ask me, I would say that we do not have virtue in leadership, and that is what drives leadership. There's a difference between a leader and a politician. We have so many politicians in Kenya and few leaders because their banks of virtue are bankrupt. They have no virtue in them.
So you're talking about academic status, you're talking about financial status, but this particular movement which you say you have been part of, has seen some people coming out to particular media stations, coming out to voice and saying that because we came out as leaderless and faceless, that was the main perspective, but the media has been able to frame some people as some leaders, and we have seen some of them even coming out to give that particular statement. Do you feel like these people represent you as a person, and what do you feel about the media giving the light to specific people while this movement is said to be faceless and leaderless?
Inherently, the human species is quite selfish. It's in us. So I am not surprised that some people are trying to hijack this movement to their selfish gain. There are those of us who know him and his tactics. There are those of us who understand that there is something we call paid activism. That some people hit the streets because money has reflected on their bank accounts. It's never pure from them. It's never from the heart. And for those who do not understand this, let me put it quite into perspective. We had two groups of youths pushing for a better country. One group was a reformist group that was comfortable with pushing the government to institute some reforms which they thought would change this country. But there are some of us, and many I should say, who are not comfortable with reforms at all from this government. We are not comfortable with pushing the government to accountability. We just want the government out. The government led by President William Ruto, his deputy, all his cabinet secretaries, the state of officers he's appointed, we want them out because we understand they are the problem. And if we push for reforms and we entrust them to change this country, we're just chasing wind. They cannot reform. A bad and a corrupt leader cannot change. A tribal leader cannot change. A leader who understands tokenism cannot change. That is what they stand for. That is who they are. You are trying to change someone. People can pretend, but their character is eternal. Their character is tribal. Their character is corrupt. Their character is of patronage. That is who they are. So you cannot expect accountability, integrity, virtue, and good leadership from such characters. We need them out.
So you say that you want them out, yeah? You want the government and everybody that is associated with the presidency right now, President Ruto, to be out, yeah? But we saw that he did some shiftment in some cabinet, you know. He gave some seats to the opposition leaders, which the opposition have said that they did not negotiate for these particular seats, yeah? What do you feel about this? And do you feel like the presidency is not going to go? And if not, it is not going to go, what will you do, or what will be your way next?
You see, I'm not even surprised that President Ruto reshuffled his cabinet instead of dissolving it. Yeah. Because that is what he understands. As I've said, tokenism, favoritism, nepotism, it is what they stand for. And they cannot change. They cannot change. Even if we made noise for 1,000 years, they cannot change. And because they cannot change, that is why we should push to have them out of power. They cannot change. That is who they are. So we should not have even been pushing for reforms in the first place. We should have been pushing for an unseating of the government. We should have been pushing to remove them from office. Because let's face it, Ababu Namwamba has had how many years as cabinet secretary for sports? What policies did he enact, you would say, that improved our sports, our talent, and our culture, and generally made an impact to the youths of this country? We have had a CS for finance. What have they done? We have had a president for close to 2 years. What has he done? The message is clear that they cannot change, that they are the problem, and they should go. We should not have pushed for reforms. We should have been pushing for the unseating of these state officers, the president, the deputy president, those cabinet secretaries, all of them from office. They have misrun this government, this country, and they will continue to do so till 2027. And God forbid, if they decide to do their own stuff. You see what happens with elections in Kenya, and they decide to give themselves another 5 years in 2027. We will still agitate. We will still hit the streets till 2032. That's 10 years lost.
So some people are saying that the Gen Z should have leaders, because at the end of the day, if we don't have leaders, we are seeing some faces being re-elected or being nominated to the cabinet secretaries, and some of these people that you are saying to be to go out, they are not going out. Yeah, do you believe that the Gen Z movement should have a face and should have a leader?
The reason why we have prevailed this far is because of the mantra of leaderlessness. If we had a leader, one, they would buy that leader, they would intimidate that leader, they would make sure that that movement does not progress. If you push leaders onto us right now, our strength has been mostly in the leaderlessness part. If we had some fellows as our leaders, they would have been quickly appointed into the cabinet, and that would not have solved our issues. For example, if we had Boniface Mwangi or Anifa or Kimuzi or Kasmuel here appointed to the cabinet, how would that change the problems we have as a country? Because a system is as good as the people. If you have 4 youths
appointed to the cabinet, or 5 of them, how will they change anything? They have directors beneath them and principal secretaries who still owe allegiance to the government and to the president, and who are as corrupt, as tribal, as inept, as incompetent as the top leadership in this country. So that would not have changed anything. If we are to have leaders, they will manifest themselves in the goodness of time. I mean, we have 2027, for example. We will have Gen Zs who will be vying for those seats and for those positions. They will identify themselves. They will fight for that space. They should not be fronted to us by the government or by NGOs or by opportunist activists, and they should also not front themselves. The goodness of time will identify them.
What a better way to end this particular interview by saying that the goodness of time is going to identify our own leaders. What is your final word to the youth who is watching you, to the Gen Z there who is now confused about now what the cabinet has done and this particular thing of facelessness? What is your final word to that particular person who is watching you out there?
See, the same thing I was saying, that if we push some people to the front, and the media keeps on doing that, if we push some people to the front as early and as premature as now, we will lose this. Because some youth will feel like they are left out. Because some people out here have different versions, different opinions, different perspectives, different standpoints, and they have not been given a chance to share that with the nation. Some of them are me. Well, I've done a couple of TV interviews, street interviews to be precise, but I haven't yet done a studio interview. We have youths out there who have a different opinion, a different perspective, a different agenda. I mean, they feel that we should make it a priority. Can we give all these people a chance to express themselves so that we can decide for ourselves which message makes more sense? Is it reform or is it a revolution? Because reform, as I have explained before, will not work. And to my final comments, I would say that every youth out there is a leader. Every youth out there has a voice. Every youth out there matters. Whether you've been invited to a TV station, to a media station, to a radio station or not, you matter. Voice out your concerns. And please, let's not push for reform. Let's push for a different government. Let's push for a different set of leaders, from the MCA to the president, to the parastatal heads, to the state officers, to the public servants. Let's push for a total overhaul of government, because reforms won't work if you replace the cabinet secretaries and you still have the president as the head of government. Nothing will change. If you replace the chief justice, she will be replaced with another one, with a corrupt system. With a corrupt system, replacing 2 people does not change anything. And the message we should be pushing for now would be that we should have citizen assemblies in every county in this country, so that we may get the message out there, decentralize the message to our parents, to the millennials, to the Gen X, and to those that are older than us. We need them to come on up this thing. It is not ours. The movement is not Gen Z's. Yes, we started it, but it should not be ours. I want the whole country to rally behind one message, that we need a different governance, a better governance that has a different president, a different deputy, different cabinet secretaries, and different state officers. We need to push for that. It is achievable. Whether by piece rate or wholesome, it is achievable.
Thank you so much.